Hi everyone, I've had a couple of requests to tell you why I drink the Ultra Shake every single day. Now, for me, I wasn't really into drinking shakes when I first started to take this, but the more I got to know about it, the more I thought it's a really valuable lesson. I've used this in recovery. I use it just as a daily vitamin and mineral drink, but let me just run through a couple of things with you. So, taking this is a great source of vitamins and minerals. On the back of the packet there's a whole list of vitamins and minerals on here. Now what's really important is that you've got A, C and E vitamins in here, which are really important to be replaced, because when we're doing lots of exercise these are depleted or actually used up in our system, so it's really important to put those back. And within 40 minutes of me finishing a long period of exercise, I will take 2 scoops of this in water, and that will give me enough protein to have the recovery straight away. And I'll show you how easy it mixes. So I've just popped a scoop in here. I'm going to put a pint of water with that, and a lot of these protein shakes very difficult to mix. This is a soy based protein, so plant based, and there it is, mixed instantly. And what we've done, we've put Amenotein with the protein and all the vitamins and minerals on here, and what happens is when you're doing that, it actually absorbs into the system really quickly. You know, it's okay taking regular foods, but taking this in water, my body doesn't have to work to actually break these down. I often put almond milk with here if I'm loading up and actually wanting to sort of carb load before I do exercise. I'll put a couple of scoops of rolled oats in there, or I'll actually use oat milk. So it really depends on sort of where I'm coming from. You can of course put coconut milk in here, which has got some great electrolytes in, but you know, water's absolutely adequate. Sometimes I blitz it up if I'm out and about, and you know, if I'm sort of missing lunch or on the run all the time. What I'll do, I'll have a shake in the car with powder ready to put in whatever fluids during the day, rather than actually miss out on lunch or breakfast. And what I find is that my blood sugar levels stay really even all day. Sometimes I'll take a Garcinia supplement, which is absolutely amazing. It has chromium picolinate in it, and again this is fantastic for cravings. I've got a couple of notes here just in case I forget. Obviously it's really important to have this on a regular basis. It's very, very good if people, as I say, are getting home and they're a little bit peckish. This has 96 calories in with water, so it's really great for a couple of hours, maybe to keep you going until the next meal, rather than snacking on some bad things. So I'll use this during exercise. So if I'm out and about, maybe on a 3 or 4 hour bike ride, I'll probably have one of these ready to go, ready to take on board, just to sort of put back a little bit. Sometimes if I'm going to be doing some walking, I might take some homemade flapjack, which is fantastic. Obviously no sugar in there, just some honey and some other ingredients. Things like you can put chopped nuts in there, which are fantastic. Or these protein balls. I'll put the recipes down on the page below. But these protein balls have got no sugar in. Cranberries. They have sour cherries. I put some flaked almonds in here. I also put some of the vanilla Ultra Shake in here as well, and just blitzed it all up. Some of them coated in coconut, and some 85% dark chocolate with a little bit of cocoa nib and dark cherry on the top. So that'll sort of keep me going, snacking, keeping the energy levels high. What I'll also do is take bee pollen supplements. So they're pretty small supplements, but really good for chewing on, just nibbling and keeping the energy levels high. I've used those for many years, and absolutely fantastic. They contain a whole multitude of vitamins in there. Again, I can post the details below so you can sort of know where we're coming from. But these have been used, it's been found to be used for many thousands of years. The Egyptians called this the life-giving dust. It's got lots of goodies in there as well. And you'll know that when you're doing strenuous exercise, those antioxidant supplements, the A, C and E, again we can replenish those into the system, and also make sure the electrolyte minerals are going to be going on there. So I take a little bit of this sometimes. So absolutely fantastic shake that you can use all day long. I'll put the 9 different ways that you can use it This is great as well for hungry children that come home and want that sort of little bit to keep them going. And also it has branched chain amino acids, the profile of leucine, and that is iso, leucine and valine in a perfect 2:1:1 ratio. And in here, in a portion, we've just got over 6 grams of these BCAA per shake portion, which is really important if there are professional athletes. This is also approved by the LGC, so it's certificated. On the bottom of each packet there's actually a lot number, and we can actually get certificates, so if people are training at a very high level. And we know as we're getting older we need to replenish all those vitamins and minerals, and our body needs to sort of replenish those. And when I was in my 40s I found this fantastic as an additional supplement. As I got into my 50s I really need this for recovery more than ever. But I'm actually working with somebody who's 17-year-old, and he's racing British GB cyclocross, and he thinks this is absolutely fabulous. So I know there's lots of information there. I can share a lot of information at the bottom, but this is something that I wouldn't be without. And if I was doing let's say a 4-hour bike ride, or I was doing a 12-hour walk, what I'd probably do is actually take a sachet of RG, which I haven't got in this session today, but I can do a separate video on that. I will use the shake beforehand to load up on carbs. I'll use 2 portions of shake after the walk or after the cycle, or if you're in a gym as well. It doesn't lay heavy on the system, so it's really good to sort of get into the system. And then I'll snack on the bee pollen, which is obviously soluble vitamin, so you need to sort of keep snacking on them. And I used this when I went up Kilimanjaro, which was over 6 days. I've also used this going up the Yorkshire 3 Peaks, which was 12.5 hours. So 22 amino acids, 27 mineral salts in here. Very, very good as well for allergies, helping prostate, digestive upsets, and very, very good for improving blood circulation. It's fantastic for all types of things, so I would use that. And then obviously some homemade snacks, and I'll put the recipes below on a sticky gooey oat flapjack, and also these protein balls. So thank you very much for listening. Any questions at all, please pop them down below and I'll come back to you on them. There's a lot of information here. There's lots of things here to keep you going, but doing the right things, obviously eating the right foods, green leafy vegetables, those antioxidant fruit and vegetables to make sure that you get the fat soluble and vitamin soluble vitamins going into the system, obviously taking minerals to help the vitamins and minerals absorb as well. So thank you for listening, and I'll join you soon.